Welcome to Daily Fortune, where we talk about the latest topic about finance and investment. But before that, please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload new videos. Now, let's get started. Do you want to become a millionaire or even a billionaire? How great is that? Mark Tilbury shared these tips on how you can be a millionaire in your 20s. It doesn't matter how old you are on this journey, but it's best to start earlier than doing nothing at all. Here's the motivational story of Tilbury, and what is this passive income he calls? Are you in your 20s? Well, you're lucky to watch this amazing video and start with your own journey. Are you excited? If yes, let's get into it. The self-made millionaire from England, Mark Tilbury, shared how passive income made him go from a normal teen, working himself to the bone to make money, to becoming a millionaire in his 20s. Here are the strategies he did that worked for him. Many YouTubers say that if it worked for them, it doesn't mean it will also work for you. But this time, let's hope for the best and make it work for you. Tilbury has done so many mistakes from the past, and these mistakes will serve as a lesson for all of us to do better this time. Let's learn from Tilbury's story, where he went from a small English town to San Francisco, all the way to the bustling city of Shanghai in China, and the challenges he had encountered in his way. Now let us first go back to 1985, when Tilbury, a 16-year-old guy, was broke like me and you. But like a lot of people, he had this big dream to be someone in this world. He went to seek his fortune and started to make money. In his teenage years, he was selling candles and cans of soda to the kids in the playground as his side hustle. Then every weekend, he went fishing to catch mackerels and sold them to his neighborhood, knocking on their doors and offering them a great deal. That's $1 for 10 fish. But in all honesty, who would want to buy that much fish, even if it's only for $1? Tilbury then made a new strategy and restructured his business. So from 10 fish, he made it 5 fish for $1. It's still a good deal though, and he was shocked by the results because everyone wanted to buy. In those times, he was practicing the important skills that we should also learn and hone in this life. Do you know what those skills are? It's skills in being confident and knowing how to do sales talk. Without those, Tilbury said that he wouldn't make it in life. It was important that those skills were to be practiced, even at a young age. He had up to 5 different jobs because he really wanted to be successful in life. He had the choice to be an electrician, a builder, refrigerator engineer, carpenter's apprentice, and shop assistant, but he decided to become a carpenter. $2 per hour wasn't a good rate, but still, he worked hard. He learned a skill that could potentially help him move up in a company and thought it could be the key to his success. He worked hard for his carpentry apprenticeship and learned everything he possibly could. He won a leadership award that gave him the drive to continue moving forward in life. After finishing his apprenticeship from college with honors, he thought that many companies will immediately hire him, that there will be a lot of job offers for him. But the sad truth is, things didn't go that way. Managers seemed to dislike him because they seemed threatened by his success, and decided to give him all the not-so-good jobs. He was assigned to make wooden trash cans in the back room, but other workers were doing much more interesting jobs. He couldn't show off his skills and was even prevented from working for a high-paying job. He didn't study carpentry just to be a robot that is making wood trash cans repeatedly. He spoke to his manager and told him that he couldn't keep making bins. He needed more of a challenge. The manager replied sarcastically that he'll make bins today and he'll be making bins tomorrow. That he'll be making a lot of bins for the 5-year contract he has with Walmart. He was powerless and can't do anything about it because he just couldn't quit. He was trapped. Tilbury got a Saturday job in a radio-controlled model shop. He also had a side hustle flipping cars, which included finding low-cost cars, repairing them, and reselling them for a profit. The cars he bought in those times would cost him $200 to $300, flipping them for $500 to $600. He also taught people to fly radio-controlled helicopters on Sunday, and it was in demand at that time. Imagine that Monday to Sunday work and no rest day. From all his side hustles, he was able to save up some kind of emergency fund. He said that having one is very important as it gives you the freedom to take advantage of any possibilities without having to worry about paying your bills. One day at work, his boss asked if there was anyone who wanted to help install a gorgeous staircase at a customer's house. Tilbury grabbed that opportunity and after seeing it, said it was one of the most beautiful houses he had ever seen. It was all complete. It had marble floors, chandeliers, a private swimming pool, and a garage with so many sports cars. It was his dream house. He started thinking and calculating how long it would take him to save enough money to purchase a house like that. He became sad and unmotivated with the fact that he still couldn't have it, even though he has a lot of side hustles. It was a so close yet so far scenario. He was exhausted both physically and mentally, working every single day. At that time, while he was installing the staircase, upon seeing the owner relaxing in the garden and going off to play golf, he thought about how he could manage to have the life that he wanted and earn a lot of money at the same time. Tilbury grabbed the chance to ask the owner some questions. The owner replied that running a business gave him the chance to make money all while he slept. And after the long story Tilbury shared about his dreams, works, struggles, and hope in life, he discovered passive income. Schools only taught us about one way of making money, and that is to have an education, finishing your degree, and working your ass off in a normal job. The concept of passive income was completely new to him. Tilbury began to recall his school days and the fish he had sold and realized that was his first experience in the world of small business ownership. Passive income has become a bit of a buzzword on the internet these days. Tilbury disagrees with the concept because it can be misleading. Starting a passive income isn't straightforward, but the concept is that you may do something, like starting a business or investing money, and then earning from it even when you're not working. It requires some effort and maintenance, but for him, it is a better method to make money than working a 9-to-5 job if you want to be successful while you're still young, as your time is restricted and thus your earnings are also limited. He emphasized that passive income was the way to go. Tilbury created an escape strategy. He knew that starting a business in an industry that he was both knowledgeable with and passionate about would give him the best chance of success. He had this brilliant idea in his mind. As I mentioned, every Saturday he worked for a radio-controlled model store. He saw the things that his other workmates were doing differently and studied the mistakes they made. As he wanted to start his own business, he did some research and found a location for a store. He also came up with a shop name inspired by Model World, a TV show he used to watch when he was young. Tilbury said he could see the potential of the shop, saying it would still save him some money even if he wasn't physically there, essentially earning him passive income. While he was working from his regular job, it gave him some hope and direction because he just realized his job right now was only a temporary position. But of course, dreaming about something big doesn't mean that a lot of people will believe in you. But it didn't matter. As long as he believed in himself, nothing would hinder him. No one thought he'd be able to break into the market and make himself a big name, because he came from a working class background and had little to no qualifications, except for one of his friends, to whom he explained his entire strategy. He couldn't wait to quit his work and get started, to show everyone how wrong they were. Tilbury just needed to have enough money first. Then, within a few months, the Model World shop was up and operating, but it had nothing to do with him. Why? Because his friend took his idea and made it himself. He was very angry and hurt since he had trusted him with all of his ideas. That's when he began to consider if being an entrepreneur was the correct path for him. He was stuck again in his 9-to-5 job, being a corporate slave, and was hopeless. His friend started living his dream. It was so heartbreaking and might have been the worst time of his life. The future he envisioned just crashed. This was the greatest lesson he learned in his life. If you have an idea, just work on it in the shadows where people can't see. It doesn't mean you won't share your plans with someone, just don't give the whole concept of your plans. After all that happened, Tilbury picked himself up and kept going in life. Tilbury worked harder every hour and didn't let his financial situation stop him from achieving his dreams. This only shows that passive income is not as easy as you think. There may be many setbacks along the way, but if you remain focused and dedicated, there will be a lot of opportunities that will come. Going back to Tilbury's story, one day he heard that his friend wanted to sell the Model World. He knew the business had huge potential, but his friend was not passionate about it. He thought of buying and taking back the business, as it was his original idea after all. This was an opportunity for him to prepare himself again, and this time he wouldn't let it go. His friend might have stolen his idea, but he never took away Tilbury's passion. To make his business a great passive income generating machine, he put together his best business plan and set up to meet with the bank, hoping that everything will be okay. Unfortunately, the loan was denied. Everything was falling apart again. He didn't know what to do. He felt like the world was against him. But then he stumbled on a building, a bank. He tried, went to it, and talked with the manager. The manager told him that his idea was good and interesting. Not only that, the manager told him that he will not only give him a loan, but he will be his first customer. The reason why the manager gave him a chance was because he was willing to help the younger generation who had dreams and passion. When he saw how determined and passionate Tilbury was, he couldn't say no to him. This is the perfect example where preparation and resilience meet opportunity, Tilbury said. The model shop was already in his ownership, the rights to the name and all the products, everything was finally in his hands. The first day he opened his shop was a success. From the selling and negotiation skills he learned when he was young, it all became useful to him now. He wouldn't be able to make his business profitable without those skills he possessed. After 3 years, he turned over $1 million. He couldn't believe it. And after 10 years, he already opened 3 shops and a warehouse full of gear. After being successful, he wanted something bigger. He wanted to be number one. So he had plans to push his business. He earned millions in passive income, but he had no idea that he had the possibility of losing everything. When things go well, sometimes you get too complacent, as if nothing could be able to stop you. This is dangerous, as it can stop you to think more creatively and hinder you from innovating your business. Tilbury's mistake was that he was too focused on one source of income from his retail stores that when internet shopping came along, it completely surprised him. It was a sink or swim situation. Everyone he knew was going out of business, and he knew it was only a matter of time until his business will also be wiped out if he didn't adapt quickly enough. Because he'd been investing in the stock market and real estate since he was a child, he had a little more time than others. He probably would have gone bankrupt if he didn't have these assets. The rise of the internet was a problem to many people at that time, but Tilbury saw it as a solution as it allowed him to reach far more people than he thought. He opted to develop a large, central location, complete with a warehouse that could serve consumers all over the world instead of building and opening more shops and having customers only in his local area. He realized that adapting wouldn't be enough if he wanted to prevent himself from something like that happening again. He needed to generate other passive income streams, and one of them was B2C. He flew to Los Angeles that time to meet someone he knew that ran a similar firm. The unplanned trip was full of unexpected things. When he met the guy, he helped him establish his new business, and in exchange, Tilbury promised to stock some of his products. He realized that if he wanted to sell to other businesses, he needed to come up with a new and own distinct product line. His knowledge in carpentry has helped him to create his own designs for his product. All that was left was to find a factory to mass produce them, so he flew to Shanghai, China to do so. His trip went really well and he met new contacts. He was getting tons of invites to travel to Shenzhen just to visit their factories. And that's the journey of Mark Tilbury. Now, his businesses are doing well and his passive income sources are as robust as they've ever been. Tilbury shared the most important lesson he learned from his experiences. That is, stepping out of your comfort zone and adapting carries a lower risk than not taking any risk at all. If you're thinking about quitting your work, keep this in mind. You need the right plan and right motivation in order to succeed. You don't have to come from a wealthy family, have lots of backups or connections in the industry. In the business world now, the barriers have never been this low. Do you know what you really need? A computer and some brains, as Tilbury said. To make your initial piece of startup money, you'll need internet connections. That's it. It seems easy, but you have to work hard for it. Take the risks, accept failures, and just keep trying. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned something from hearing Tilbury's story. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something from today's video, and to get updated with the next videos, please don't forget to hit the notification bell. See you next time!